Om. 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 Om Gam Ganapatiye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapatiye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapatiye Namaha. Om Brahma Mir Striparam Takare. Banushashi Mamisato. Buddhasha Gurusha Shukra. Shani Rahu Keteva. Sarve Graha Shantikara Bhavantu. Om. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Buddhaya Namaha. Om Namah Shivaya. Greetings and welcome to another episode of Cosmic Kev 100. This is your weekly astro video zine where we take the grahas, the planets, put them in the various different houses they're in, and try to make sense of it according to your rising sign, your moon sign, or any other part of you, your sun sign. That comes, probably third most importance, I would say. And I know people make that the most important, but I've had over 40 years experience in astrology, and this is how it works. So we're starting with Friday the 26th of July, going through Thursday, August 1st, 2024. Now the moon is in the constellation of Pisces, and this is not the Western seasonal part of it. This is like my Vedic astrology, sidereal astrology part. So if you're looking at a telescope, you'd see it in the constellation of Pisces. And it's in a lunar mansion known as Revati. Revati, and this is for Friday, Revati is the fish going in two different directions, and it's considered to be a crossroad. This is the last nakshatra, last lunar mansion. It's also, it can be a significant of beginnings. This is a place in the sky where Venus actually gets exalted, so it's really good for creative stuff. Revati is ruled by Pushan, who rules hospitality, hotels. He's sort of like a cattle rancher. He calls the cows home, and is known to be a guise of the sun. And anything that deals with timepieces, watches, roads, travel, hotels, they all come under Revati. So for those of you who are traveling tomorrow, going places, I think it's a good, generally speaking, it's a good moon for that. We have some nice aspects starting the day. Now in Western astrology, moon's in Aries, and in Western astrology, the sun's in Leo now. And what we can say is that, it's hot. Fire them burn. We just had a fire erupt yesterday late afternoon in Chico in our beautiful upper park, one of the largest city parks in the United States, and, it quickly escalated. We've had a summer that's been about the hottest in recorded history. And so there's very dry, difficult conditions out there. And I imagine all around the world there's fires, and there's, because of current climate situations, things are rough. Now, Aries moon is known for a good start, a new start. We're going to start with you, Aries, as we go through all the signs of the zodiac this week. The moon is in its waning cycle. That means it's losing light. It's getting closer to the new moon. And what happens this week is just we're releasing things. We're finishing things off. There's going to be a Mercury retrograde in another week, and we will have Mercury in Western Virgo at that time, and so a lot of critical analysis. It'll retrograde back into Leo. It'll go forward again on the 28th of August. So between the 4th and the 28th of August, things, it's probably best to just kind of keep your plans flexible and don't, just roll with it. Roll with it with an amount of spontaneity, and things will get better. So what I do is I go sign by sign. So most people know their sun sign, so you can use that. If you know your rising sign, though, you'll get a much more accurate reading. Moon sign will help flavor things, at least according to your mental state and your emotional state. And and if you don't know those two, the sun sign works, but it's not always what we want it to be. Anyhow, so we have North Node in your first house. So greetings, Aries, Moon and North Node in the first house. There's a part of you that feels enthusiastic, excited. The sun's in the fifth house. It's great for travel. This is a heart-opening time for you, a time that overall should be good. It should be positive. And you're getting to a place where you're going to start looking at things a little more carefully, with a little more critical thinking is what I'm thinking. And so, and the thing is because Mercury is slowing down, because it's getting ready to go retrograde next week. Just doing everything more thoughtfully, writing things down, maybe not allowing yourself to be reliant on your laptop or your phone, but just keeping things more old school and simple. This is going to help. And Mars is in the third house, so you got a lot of courage right now. You've got a lot of room to move forward in a positive way. If you have brothers as siblings, they're going to be a little more important right now. Anything dealing with children in your life, if you're a parent, that's going to be more important too. And social situations are changing constantly, partly with the landscape with all the politics going on. And if you're unwilling to look at the financial funding of all these candidates on both sides, I mean, what I see is they, at least in the Republican Democratic thing, is they just demonize each other and they have no substance as to what their plan is for people. They might have some, but they kind of downplay that with fear. I guess fear is our greatest motivator. It shouldn't be. I want love to be our greatest motivator. Well, greetings, Taurus. Welcome to your horoscope. I mean, you love love. You're a Venus-ruled sign, and you want to preserve things. Leo time is another fixed sign. So it kind of brings to light where you're stubborn, especially in your family life, especially with your parents. It's like you inherited this. You didn't just come into it completely on your own. And most of you are sidereal Aries anyhow, and so that's a whole other conversation we could get into. And if you ever go for a reading from me, that's usually where I'll take it, is at that place, because it's deeper and it reflects what we actually see in the sky with our naked eyes. Beautifying your home, loving your home. This is a good time for creative writing. If you're a Taurus, you ever wanted to write a book, this would be a great time to initiate it. Even with Mercury is going to be retrograde eventually, but a lot of deep things concerning your family, maybe writing a book about your children, since it's in the fifth house. Good creative ideas are coming your way. And this is a time where you probably want to spend more time at home. Well, greetings, Gemini. Welcome to your horoscope. I mean, you are motivated right now. You've got Mars in the first house, so that gives you a little bit of extra power. That gives you a little bit of extra oomph. Now, of course, Mercury's in Virgo. It's in your fourth house, so there's a lot of reflection going on. A lot of things maybe dealing with family history, things dealing with the past. We don't want to be stuck in the past, but we want to understand the past so that when we move forward in the future, we can have a presence, we can have a basis for what we're doing. Knowing your roots is not a bad thing, and this is a really good time for you to do genealogy, to learn your roots. I mean, some people do DNA tests. It's a little weird because there's just so many powers that be that use any information on us as a method of controlling us, and that's super sad, because can't we just bloom naturally without each other controlling each other? That would be nice. And that's what I'd like to see in the world. I'd like to see more freedom of speech, more acceptance, less of a canceling culture, more of a culture that encourages forgiveness and positive change and helps each other change in the positive and bring out their best talents. And since you're so multi-talented, Gemini, and now you've got Jupiter in the first house, it's just your whole world is just expanding so incredibly right now. And Leo's the third house for you, so that's your environment. So you're, getting to know your local environment. It's really good. It's helping you right now. Greetings, Cancer, and welcome to your horoscope. You can see there's a lot. These are the houses of the public that are on the upside of your chart here. And, with Pluto in the 8th house, there's a lot of personal transformation. It's going to be a theme for the next, Saturn cycle. The next 29 years, there's going to be a lot of deep changes you're going to see. But your spiritual life and having a spiritual discipline, the discipline is Saturn. The spiritual life is Neptune, and they're all in the 9th house. And 9th house is a very spiritual house, very open-minded house. It's a house of higher education. It's a house of multicultures. The moon, just for this right now, Friday, in your midheaven, how you work. It looks like this weekend, the moon will be over in your 11th house. Very social time for you. And I think being more actively involved in prayer and meditation, visualizing, having a better prayer life, isolating yourself from the world just so you can just step back and see good things and bring good things to the table. That is going to help you. And this is Leo time for Cancer, is manifesting money and manifesting relationship with your family. Okay. Greetings, Leo. Welcome to your horoscope and happy birthday. I want to wish a happy birthday to Sanjay Dev, who is turning 60 today, Friday the 26th, and appreciate you, fellow programmer of reggae music on KZFR, math teacher at Chico State and Butte College, and all-around family man, helps his parents who are aging and has kids, and he's just a good guy. So I'm giving a shout out to Sanjay. I think it's also Mick Jagger's birthday too. I'm not sure. I think he's like 81 or something. He's looking pretty good for 81, but privilege does funny things to people when you get that rich. He's touring. It's not the last tour of the Rolling Stones, folks. For Leo, it's just like being mindful of your speech with Mercury in the first house, about to go retrograde. Popularity's up. Venus is conjoining your sun, especially if you're in the second half of Leo. So more love, more creativity. I mean, who wouldn't want more of that in their life, right? Moon in Aries Friday works very good for you, really good for travel. North Node's there, so there's something you might desire to see, and finally you get to see it. I mean, Uranus in the midheaven is, technology at work, and sometimes things going out, computers not working, things like that. That can happen. Power outages, Uranus rules electricity and things like that. So it's just like you just have to be careful of those things. Social life looks exciting, I mean, especially in the area of like sports or physical activities that you do in groups, team sports, teamwork, things like that. Teamwork makes dream work. That relationship, there's some changes going on in your life in relationship. That's very nice, and you're the flavor of the month. So, happy birthday to some of my Leo friends having birthdays this week: Gabrielle Walter, Spinny, Spencer Rouse, and over there in LA area, Alex Reyna. Happy birthday to you. There's so many of you, and I just want to give you all the birthday love you deserve and need. Well, greetings, Virgo. Welcome to your horoscope. So, Mercury in the first house. I mean, you got your thinking cap on. You're seeing things for the most part rather clearly. You're more articulate than usual. You're able to say what you mean what you say. And things are are functioning on a higher level in the world of intelligence. Now, Leo time is not like the greatest time for Western astrology, Virgo suns, because sun's in the 12th house, and that's a house of loss. It's also dreams. It's also your spiritual life. It's also a really good time for you to go to the wilderness and maybe just back off and look at that, or just make some kind of plan to see something, to do something. We've got Neptune and Saturn in your 7th house of relationships. So spiritual life, spiritual discipline with your partner, with your husband, with your wife, your fiance, girlfriend, boyfriend. That is what's going to bring solidarity. Working on personal health issues is important with Pluto in the 6th house. Friday, you kind of have to just kind of roll with the punches, go with the flow. The weekend looks really good, looks really fun for a trip, any kind of experience you have, and you're showing more leadership, better work ethic, all these things. These are all positive, so, let's just go with the positive right now. Greetings, Libra. Welcome to your horoscope. I mean, what I'm seeing right now is a way to celebrate the lives of others around you, older siblings, older beings in your life, that they deserve to be celebrated. You might meet someone, if you haven't, been on a date and you've been desiring romance. Social situations could open up something where you meet somebody that's really good for you. Pay attention to your dreams. Mercury's going to bring some messages, messages and dreams. And, not everything everyone says is true, so it's good to just take it with a grain of salt, as they say. But, don't disregard anything completely, but don't, get overwhelmed. And certainly, the more common something is these days, the more likely it might be untrue. It's like that, common sense isn't really common anymore. This is a good time for travel, and it's a good time to kind of revamp your creative process. Greetings, Scorpio. Welcome to your horoscope. Most of the grahas, although they're nicely spread right now, they're in relationships. So just being quieter, being a better listener, and a lot of you are, but it's just being able to be receptive and realizing that you're not really controlling this game. Now, Leo time for Scorpio is where you show some of your best work. This is where you work hard and your talents and skills are showing things that of value, of worth. And especially if you're a Scorpio who's creative, a lot of you are sidereal Libras anyhow, and so creative arts is really important. We look at Scorpios like Claude Monet, the actress Veronica Lake, maybe the performers like Dickie Betts, Adam Att. There was, or maybe it wasn't Dickie Betts, maybe it was Dwayne Allman. But there were just different people, Neil Young, Joni Mitchell, a lot of different creative Scorpios, Aaron Copland, working on your creative stuff right now. And with Saturn and Neptune, just having a practice of like where you're painting more, or you're writing songs more, or you're filming things more, whatever your creative art is, gardening, whatever, you're doing it more. And there's a lot of change and transformation, and allowing other people to help you, even though you're kind of stubborn and want to do things your way. This is going to help. This is going to bring good fortune in your life. Greetings, Sagittarius. Welcome to your horoscope. Your key phrase is I visualize or I see. And even for you, most of this is engaging with other people, how you engage. Jupiter and Mars, you're in a place where you really want more just diplomacy in the world, in a place where you want more people to get along. Leo's another fire sign. This helps you, and it's in your 9th house, so you become more Sagittarian during Leo time, and so that's generosity, that's risk-taking, that's being philosophical. On the bad part, it's being fanatical, maybe just overdriven, like, oh, now we know. And it's very weird to see people become so polarized in my lifetime. So at the end of the day, we all have to get up and hang out with each other. I remember Ruth Ginsburg, the judge. She would hang out, very liberal woman, hang out with this conservative, Scalia, and they were friends. And it's like, if our leaders show us that just because you have different political philosophies or things, you can be friends. And I think that's really so important at this time, is to extend friendship. Now Mercury's in your midheaven, so Sagittarius is showing more intelligence. It's a good time for you to travel. Relationship wise, it's a good time for creating harmony. And I think overall you're in a place where you're ready to help make positive change, and Friday's going to be a great day for you. Greetings Capricorn, welcome to your horoscope. Saturn's in the third house from Capricorn, so dealing with your siblings, dealing with your environment immediately, your means of transportation, how you get around, your ability to work with your hands, these are the things that are going to need more work, and these are the things to welcome positive change, welcome healing. We're not always going to be 25 years old, and when you are 25 years old, you almost don't even know how good you have it just from that level, and there's heartbreak at any age, any time, any place, and so we can't really make generalizations. Some people are going to have the greatest time of their life in their 70s and 80s. Some people, the greatest time of their life is going to be a little kid growing up. I mean, you don't know. But for you right now, it's like kind of like, don't try to control things. Leo is your 8th house, so it's like other people's power, other people's money. Sometimes you have to get in a little bit of debt to make the real money that you want to make. And that's okay. All of that's fine. It's just, this is a time to have more of an open mind, and you're getting more intelligent. And, it's easy to get caught up in lust or hopelessness or introspection, but there's a part of you that really wants to excite your heart and be a more generous, less stuck person. And that's the person I want to see emerge and transform. Just think of Leo time as your time to transform, change, and let other people have their say. And then, it'll change. Greetings Aquarius, welcome to your horoscope. Well, you've got Pluto in the first house. If you're like a January Aquarius, there'll be a lot of insights you're going to get from this. This will give you some x-ray vision into things, and it's also going to encourage you to go deeper. And most Aquarians, I know, they like to just have fun, and they're very brilliant people, very smart, but they also have a hard time with other people because other people aren't always as smart as them. And it's easy to kind of rest in arrogance, like, I know. And Leo time, Leo is I will, and that's your partnership sign. And I've seen Leos and Aquariuses get together, but it's not that easy. It's a lot easier for some reason for Scorpio and Taurus to get together on the fixed scale opposite signs. Because, let's face it, Leo runs hot, Aquarius runs cold. There's other things, especially in the northern hemisphere, that's how we look at it. And because both air and fire are masculine, it's like you're relying on strength. But what I see is if you could be more vulnerable as an Aquarius, you're going to attract so much more love right now, and the love is coming to you. So you don't have to worry about that. And this is a good time for negotiation. This is a good time for career changes. This is a good time for partnership. And Pluto in the second house, revamping how you deal with money, how you visualize money, your resources, how you deal with your family, how you deal with your parents, siblings, and healing wounds you might have experienced between 7 and 14 growing up that really affected you. That's another thing to think about. Greetings Pisces, welcome to your horoscope. Well, now, Mercury going retrograde in another week and a half is going to affect relationships. Now that Mercury's in Virgo, you're a sweet talker. This is your 7th house, so you know what to say. You're also being a little more cautious, and you're realizing that sometimes you're going to have to move slowly in order to be specific. because you tend to kind of muddle and are unspecific, enigmatic, and a lot of communication. And right now, people might call you out on that and say, "Hey, can you just like break it down in reality? You know, we want the real story here." You know, tomorrow it's a good time to make money, reestablish family relationships. There's a lot of changes and instability in your own environment and community. You might be feeling restless about your life and want to move to a new place with Mars and Jupiter transiting your fourth house. And, you know, Leo time is a time to just keep things chill because, you know, getting overheated can work on your health. Go swimming. Take time, extra time in prayer. Prayer and meditation are going to change things, and they're going to change things for the better. And we can do this. We are not stuck. We are not on a doomsday trajectory, even though we hear that. God is bigger than all doomsday. And the Holy Supreme God wants everything good for all his children. And that includes you. And even if you don't believe, don't worry about it. You know, it's just get plugged into Source and do what you can to elevate others and free yourself from desires so that you can be more open to better things than even you ever thought you would want or desire. And that's the message. Get done what you need to do in the next, you know, week and a half because of Mercury going retrograde the following weekend. And I look forward to being with you again when we do this again. Thank you so much for your comments, Wordsley and Shant and all my followers who do make comments. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. I appreciate you. And what you'd like to hear more of, let me know. Om Shanti 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 Om Tat Sat.